Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to try doing something different. So I want to do books where I compare a book with another on the basis of the same criteria or something like that. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this or if it's going to come out the way I'm thinking to, but I do want to try it and let me know if you enjoyed this video and I will try and make more content as such. So today I will be talking about two books, comparing them a little bit and the two common factors are that the books have female protagonists and they both deal with different health disorders. One is physical and one is mental. I will not be talking about them in detail, but I might just try and bring these books to you with a different perspective and a different angle. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the books that I want to talk about are, first is the book that I absolutely loved and I cannot recommend this enough, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And the other book that I want to talk about is something that I was highly enthusiastic about, highly interested in, and I had really high hopes with, but I was massively disappointed. But I did find a couple of good things about the book, and that is Everything by Nicola Yoon. Alright, so the thing is, one thing I want to talk about is the synopsis. One of the reasons why I have limited myself to reading synopsis before getting a book is because most of the times they are, I believe they're not really written by the author as such, but the publishers do that, and most of the times they are built around or bent around what the readers would read and like and buy that book. So it's mostly a marketing technique. I might be wrong, so correct me if I am, but this is what I think so far. And a lot of the times the synopses don't really match with the book, or they're not as impactful as the book actually is. So I have stopped reading most of those. So I do tend to see a lot of reviews where the person does not really reveal what the book is about, but I would like go through a couple of points and see if it matches with what I like, and if somebody's recommended to me and if I know that I trust that person's recommendation and likes are similar as mine, I would just go with the book without even thinking about it. So this is what had happened. I did not know what Turtles All the Way Down by John Green was. I had pre-ordered it. I had absolutely no clue what it was. I didn't even hear his where he recited the first few pages of his video on Vlog Brothers, I think. So I wasn't really sure about what the book is about, and I just went blindly to it and absolutely loved it. I have seen a few people talk about how they had expected something else after reading the synopsis and how it was completely different, and in their head they couldn't really understand whether they like it or they don't like it or how do they feel about it, and that does spoil the reading experience. And the other one is where I did read the synopsis and I did hear a friend's review before I got this book, and I was highly excited because of that. So in the review she had mentioned that the protagonist has a health disorder which is not the same as mine but similar. I deal with immunity disorder and so did the protagonist, although hers is worse than mine. But yeah, so I read the synopsis and I completely felt like I was so disappointed with this book. Even though the story is amazing, you might not like it as much because of what you've read and how you've already made a perception in your mind, and that I know has happened with a lot of people, especially on BookTube. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. For example, if you watch Chelsea's channel, which is Chelsea Reads, or what is it? I'm forgetting, I'm sorry. I follow her and her videos a lot, but I'm just completely forgetting. But I will link it down below in the description box. She read Turtles All the Way Down as part of her own readathon that she and Julia from Pages and Pens were hosting, and she quite did not like the book because what she'd read in the synopsis made her expect different things out of the book. So she was concentrating more on the plot because that's how it's mentioned in the synopsis, while I did not read the synopsis at all and I just went straight to it. So I wasn't even really as interested in the plot as much as I was in Isa, the protagonist's life, and how she deals with her health disorder. So my focus and my perspective was entirely through that and not the plot as mentioned in the synopsis. So that's what I'm trying to say over here. Alright, so now what the story basically is about. Both of them, like I said, have female protagonists. In Everything by Nicola Yoon, the protagonist is Maddie, who's I think 16, 17 or 18 years old, and she deals with a health disorder called SICD, which is a very difficult thing to deal with. It's a very sensitive immune disorder where you are basically allergic to everything in the outside world. You can't really go out because anything and everything can affect you and even be fatal to your health. It's a disease where basically the immunity is not even there, is what you can say. And the reason why I said that I was so interested in reading this book, knowing that, was because I myself deal with immunity problems, which is called autoimmunity. It is quite bad, and I do talk about it openly now on my blog, but it's not as bad as SICD. SICD is just really, really bad, and I can't even imagine a life like that. Yeah, so that's Maddie's story. In Tunnels of the Way Down by John Green, I think most of you are aware that Isa deals with health disorder, which is basically anxiety and OCD. Now, why these two books are completely different and why I like this one way better than this one, and what really makes a difference when authors write about protagonists with health disorders, is that in this, John Green actually deals with OCD himself. So he has first-hand experience, and I'm pretty sure most of the emotions and thoughts that Isa has in the book is something that he himself might have had at some point of time, and that's something that makes a lot of difference. Nicola Yoon does not have SICD. I'm not aware if she knows somebody who has it closely, because you could know that it didn't feel as personal and it didn't feel like somebody has written it from a first-hand experience. But what I love equally in these two books is that despite them being teenagers, they deal with their disorders fairly well. They do look for silver lining wherever possible. They're quite positive and they want to try and get better, and they want to try and do things despite their health disorders. Over here, Isa is just constantly in this spiral, and she is unable to come out of her own mind because there are so many voices in her head, and it's just a very confusing life, and I can't begin to imagine how difficult that must have been for her. Despite that, she tries and be a better person in general. She tries and be a better daughter, she tries and be a better friend, but she's also trying to be better to herself. So that's something that, you know, is very important to express through the protagonist, because these are all real life issues and a lot of people go through this. So it just gives them, I think, a better platform, better perspective of how things can be if you just put in more effort. Over here as well, Maddie, despite not being able to go out at all, has weaved her life accordingly, and she's dealing with it quite well. She reads books, she writes, she is quite active in making decisions as to how to make her days more and more productive. So I think that's a very, very good thing to sort of express in this book. The reason why I say this is because, especially in Maddie's situation where she deals with immunity problems and so do I, a lot of the times I cannot move out, but it's not a SICD situation. A lot of the times my body would not let me talk, it would not let me open my eyes, and it's a lot of issues that I have to deal with. So, and that's every day. So that's one thing that I find that has helped me cope with my health in a lot of ways, is that I constantly look for ways to make my days more productive. That's something that I do appreciate and relate with how both the authors have made a point to express in both these stories. Coming back to a point that I've previously mentioned, is that how when authors deal with problems firsthand, it makes a lot of difference, because over here it was anxiety through and through, like the beginning till the end, but the book did not end on how she was okay, because a lot of times people with health disorders, be it any kind, be it physical or mental, a lot of the times they have to deal with it throughout, and it's not very easy for it to be cured or healed or whatever. So I like how it ends with a ray of hope, with a glimpse of how she thinks of her future, and how despite having all these difficulties in life, it always goes on and you're supposed to move on with it, but you can take your own time. So I love how that has been mentioned and shown and showcased in this book. However, here, because the author does not deal with SICD in first hand, which I'm not saying that she should, but all I'm saying is that affected her story writing over here, is because she was able to mold something like SICD in a way that she doesn't understand of how insensitive that could be for a lot of people. Had the synopsis been different and had the perspective of the book for readers been different, the story could have been much better enjoyed. One thing I commonly like is how beautifully both the books are written. Even though I gave this 2 stars and I gave this 5 stars, even though I did not like it as much as I wanted to and I love this, I would want to acknowledge and appreciate the writing style. Both the books are beautifully written. There are illustrations in this book and I absolutely adore those. The writing style is beautiful, and John Green, we all know how beautifully he writes. It's amazing, and you can see that I've actually marked a lot of pages here because so many things, despite not being dealing with mental disorder, but just the fact that both of us have health disorders, so many things that I could actually relate to, and it's just beautifully written. And the last thing that I want to point out with this comparison and with the criteria of having girl or women protagonists in mind is that how important it is for stories weaved around, especially girls, where we make them realize that a lot of things are more important than what the society bogs us down with. You know, that both of them deal with some really, really tough situations, and how they have managed to sort of see the better part of life and sort of see that there are bigger issues in mind. For example, here, when she goes to Hawaii, and she sees herself in a bathing suit for the first time, she realizes that she doesn't even know what to think about when she looks in the mirror. She doesn't know whether to think that she's too thin or too fat or too pretty or too ugly. She does not know how to run that thought process because, one, this is the first time that she's seeing herself in a mirror in a swimsuit. This is the first time that she's got an opportunity to even swim and wear a swimsuit. And another line that she mentions is that I would rather trade this body for a better functioning body and would not, worry about the looks, because her main problem is that her body doesn't function as she would like it to, and it does not function the way it's supposed to. So, you sort of get a perspective to so many more important things in life and so many more important things. But a lot of the time, sadly, teenagers get bogged down with what the society says. There are body image issues and there's this and that. So I think women-centric, especially teenager-centric books really bring those things in perspective, and I think that's something really, really important. And that's why I do enjoy young adult, is because a lot of the stories, which are actually pretty good, do put those things in perspectives, and I hope the young readers are able to get that from these books. I think you've noticed that the light is changing. That's because it's almost like the daylight is just gone. I'm sitting in the terrace. But yeah, so that's what I want to talk about, and that's what I wanted to try to highlight rather through these two books and comparing them. Let me know if you liked this video. I would like to do more of these comparisons where I talk about different things, and I might just have a set criteria in mind. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down below, or just send me a direct message. I would love to know your thoughts on it, and if you enjoyed these, I would like to make more of these videos. I think it's just a fun way to talk about books and recommend them to you, and just share the beautiful world of words. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have linked on my blog post regarding these books and videos down below in the description box, so do go check that out. All my social links are down below as well. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.